when did you turn that corner with your confidence in the big leagues where you could kind of say to yourself, man, I'm Corbin Burnes. I'm elite. No one's beating me. When did that first hit you in the big leagues?
For me, it actually happened right at the beginning of 2020. Going into spring training, I knew that I had found some stuff, worked on the mentality, knew what I wanted to do. And as soon as the spring training kicked off in 2020, I went out and threw the ball really well. For me, it was just to continue to do that. I started the year in 2020 in a tandem with Brett Anderson in that shortened season. So it wasn't until we had a few guys go down that I actually got the opportunity to start. And then we just took off from there. But, one of the things that we preached when I was working on the mentality side with Brian Kane is, hey, fake it till you make it. You got to go out there and you have to be the guy of, hey, I'm the best pitcher in the league. I don't care what just happened in 2019. Yes, I had an 8.8 ERA, but I know I'm the best pitcher in the league. When I stand on the mound, I'll make everyone feel it. I'm going to make everyone see it. And I kind of took that mentality and ran with it. In 2020, it worked great. And so, like I said, we have that fallback of what we knew was going to work, and just took off with it in 2021. And now we can say that we are the best in the league.
David, when was that coming of age moment for you in the big leagues with confidence?
There's certain lessons you have to learn for yourself on the mound. I love that fake it till we make it, or until you make it line. It really is true. Pitching coaches can tell you what to do or give you all the best advice in the world. I was around great pitching coaches, but there's only so far they can get you. There's a light bulb effect you can get on the mound when you start to have success, or you get away with a pitch, or you find a formula that works, some sort of sequence of pitches that work. And next thing you know, the confidence just starts to build. And the best athletes I've been around, the Cy Young Award winners, the Hall of Famers, sometimes are the most insecure ones. Confidence can be very fleeting out there. You can get your ass handed to you, in any given night out there. And the next thing you know, you start to doubt. That doubt creeps in, and that's something you have to solve for yourself. And that's why I like what Corbin had to say there, because he really has seen, it seems like he's figured out a lot of this stuff on his own, the psychological part, the technological part, the analytical part, and then just the pure stuff part. I think he's kind of mastered the right mix. And I guess that's a question, while I have you, Corbin, because I'm an old dog, but I'm fascinated with some of the new technology. I wish I had some of these toys when I pitched, 20 years ago or so. What do you look at? What numbers do you look at as far as the analytical side? Do you have, the Edgertronic cameras going on your side sessions? Do you use Rapsodo? Is there something you pay attention to, whether it's spin rate, vertical, horizontal, release point, start to start? Is there any one thing that you found especially useful, or that you guys in Milwaukee, and your team of analysts there, that they use to try to give you that information or interpret the data to you?
Yeah. So a lot of the analytics stuff that I look at, I will only look at in the off season. So as I'm getting back into shape, getting the arm going, I'm able to throw most of my bullpens at the complex here in Arizona for when I train. So we have access to the Rapsodo, the TrackMan. So those are the stuff that I'm looking at when I'm throwing those first couple bullpens of the year, getting into spring training, looking at spring training outings, is where we're looking at different vertical and horizontal rises on pitches. For me, on like the curveball, we're obviously looking at the vertical, looking at the spin rates. The cutter, we're looking at both kind of vertical and horizontal. The one we focus on the most is actually my sinker. That's where we look at analytics the most, just because we're trying to continue to make that pitch a better pitch, something that we can complement the other, the curveballs, the sliders with. So that's actually what we look at the most. In season, I don't look at it hardly at all. It's one of those things that I like to focus on, just trying to execute pitches and doing what I can on the mound. If you go up there and your warm up for the game is, my slider doesn't have this kind of vertical break on it today, you're already second guessing yourself and you're in trouble from the get go. So for me, once we're in season, everything's hey, this feels good. Okay, we're rolling with it. I don't care if it analytically looks horrible. If we're up there getting outs with it, then hey, it's good enough, kind of thing. So most of my analytics and looking at different types of spin rates and that kind of stuff comes in the off season and in spring training.
Very interesting. And, I think that's pretty smart if you think about it, because the last thing you want to do is get defensive. You're right. You get that defeatist attitude if you're concentrated on weaknesses constantly instead of pitching to your strengths.